America, land of the free, home of subpar state flags. Now, it's become a little bit of a meme how ugly US state flags are. The national flag is good, but literally like a dozen state flags are just plain blue with really complicated and kinda ugly state seals, complete with these little dudes holding various objects. A whole bunch of these flags have to explicitly name the state on the flag just so the public can tell the difference between them. But some US state flags are actually kinda good, so there is potential here. What if US state flags weren't so generic? Well, this is What, Why, How, and today, for Flag Day, I'll be redesigning some of the most boring US state flags. And if you like this video, subscribe. This video is a 1,000 subscriber special, by the way. Thanks for all your support. Okay, the first stop on our great American road trip is my home state, New Jersey. Now, in real life, the New Jersey state flag is a field of butterscotch with two women, Liberty and Prosperity, watched over by this ominous-looking decapitated horse. I would put in that Godfather clip here, but you know, there's too much blood, so just imagine it. Okay, so let's just toss this all in the bin and replace it with this. Simple and to the point. We got a star in the top left, representing the state, and a butterscotch sash across the middle. We can say that represents the Jersey Shore, agriculture, or Sicily. The colors also match Sweden, who first colonized New Jersey, and the uniform of the New Jersey Line in the Revolutionary Army. This is pretty similar to some other proposed Jersey flag redesigns, but with some changes to avoid looking like Austin's flag. Let's drive up the Garden State Parkway to New York. Now, the New York state flag is even more generic than the Jersey flag because it's got the boring blue field that a dozen other states have. So let's swap it out with the old Prince's flag, which represents the state's Dutch origins, and it kinda looks good. Let's keep heading up the road until we get to Connecticut. Now, the Connecticut flag is pretty okay, it's not too complicated, and it's got grapes, which are unique. Those symbolize the original towns of the state. Keeping the basic colors and subjects, let's swap everything around until we get this, which gives more focus to the grapevine, but doesn't have those weird tufts of grass the original has, or too much weird little notes and symbols. Rhode Island and Massachusetts have alright flags, but New Hampshire and Vermont need some work. Let's ditch Vermont's generic flag, and why don't we go with the stark flag of the old Green Mountain Boys. Next door, New Hampshire's flag is a bit too interesting. It's got 3 flags in the flag. Since there's also the HMS Walter Raleigh, that's the ship, let's swap it all out with Walter Raleigh's coat of arms. This kinda looks like the state's White Mountains too, so double symbolism. Okay, let's head up to the Pine Tree State, Maine, which has the usual generic flag, which is ridiculous because its flag in the early 1900s was actually pretty good. Let's just rewind the clock to that. Alright, let's zip down to Pennsylvania, which actually has kind of a cool flag. It's got 2 horses. I'm gonna defer to the redesign by Tara Stark, which might actually become the flag sometime in the future, and it looks pretty good. South of PA is Delaware, a pretty teeny tiny state with a mid-tier flag, to be honest, sorry. How about we follow the Pennsylvania redesign and make this shield into a tricolor, but let's keep the ox to symbolize Delaware's agricultural history, and maybe people there are stubborn, I don't know. Keeping down I-95 south, we get to Maryland, which is great, no notes, and to Virginia, which is so close to greatness. It's got a woman stabbing to death some Roman king. Because the flag has somebody sic sempering a tyrannus, you know what, let's just leave it be. Instead, we gotta confront Virginia's mirror clone, West Virginia. Now, in the early 1900s, the obverse side of the flag had this image, with mountain laurel. I like that a whole lot better, so let's make that the real flag. Okay, keeping west on I-64, let's tackle Kentucky. Kentucky's is especially boring because the pioneer and the statesman on its flag aren't even holding any objects. Since everybody knows Kentucky for its horses, let's add a leaping horse and a star to represent the state itself. Okay, so overall, the South has some pretty good flags all around. Check out Louisiana's, which has a pelican feeding its baby chick's blood. Pretty metal. The only slacker of the group is Florida, which obfuscates a pretty nice Spanish saltire with a very complicated state seal. Just get rid of the seal and we're set, except for the fact that's Alabama's flag. So why don't we swap Florida's cross with the barbed cross of Burgundy, which it's based off of, but because that has too many imperial implications, let's add a little spice with another cross, this one blue for democracy. Nice. Alright, taking a road trip up I-75 to the land of Lincoln. Illinois' flag is kind of a bit goofy, but the state actually has a pretty good 1918 centennial flag designed by Wallace Rice, so why don't we go with that? Next stop on the Great American Road Trip is Michigan, whose flag kinda looks like these animals are teaming up against this guy who's just minding his own business. This is my best shot, but it's still kinda boring, so how about you all make some flags and put them in my Discord? Yeah. Let's take a ferry across Lake Michigan, do they have that? I don't know, to the Badger State, which has a predictably generic flag too. Since Wisconsin's motto is forward and the state has a W, why not make this the flag? And yes, the yellow is cheese. Okay, taking a hike down I-94 west to Minnesota, which has a blech flag with some potential. Back in 1957, this was apparently a proposed redesign. I like it a whole lot. Next is North Dakota, which saved an actually unique flag for its governor. How about we get rid of all the extraneous stuff and bam, don't you know, there's an alright flag. How about South Dakota? Well, you know what, this is a good foundation for the Sunshine State, but all the extraneous text, including not one but two name tags, that has to go. Let's just keep the sun. Okay, sailing up the Missouri to Nebraska, whose flag is so unremarkable that they apparently flew it upside down outside the state capitol and nobody noticed for over a week. How about we give a nice old corn on the cob, since Nebraska's the Cornhusker state. To the south is Kansas, which has the aspirational motto of, "To the stars through difficulties." Maybe I'll make a video about Kansan space colonies. Okay, so the flag is pretty generic, but back in the 1920s it used a state banner which had a sunflower. That's a big improvement, why don't we return to that? Next is Oklahoma, which is actually pretty okay, even if it does insist upon a name tag, it's got some character. How about we take a flight to Montana, which again has this generic, boring flag. I would generate a flag of my own, but you know what, I think others have come up with a lot of pretty great ones featuring bison heads and the Rockies, so I don't know, pick one of those. Speaking of the Rockies, let's head to Idaho, the potato state. To be honest, I'm not sure what to replace its generic state flag with. Maybe this one, since it has a unique shape. Nevada has actually a pretty okay flag, so let's go to Oregon, the beaver state, which has a pretty generic flag, but its obverse is the excellent beaver flag. Let's go with that one. Then the last state needing a fix is Washington, the evergreen state, which just slapped the face of the first president himself on the flag. How about we tweak the flag of Washington, D.C., which is the guy's coat of arms, and make it the colors of Washington state. Bingo. Okay, so there we go. Here are the 14 new flags of America I've drawn up. Send it to your local legislatures, and let me know which one is your favorite, or also your least favorite. It's okay, be honest. And if you like this video, check out my Patreon. For $1 a month, you can get your name in the credits, just like user SEQ, Sadie Bubs, and Ethan W. Monster.